it's a great day to be alive, yes? Here we are together. I see a bunch of new faces, and I can't wait to talk to you after this service. Please do not leave without giving me a hug. There's a lot going on today, in case you hadn't noticed, but we've got goodies for sale. We've got goodies to eat. In the other room, we have Love's Table, and then we have all of our regular stuff going on over here. Wow. You know, they say that a sign of a good leader is that the organization continues to thrive in their absence. Well, wow. But I want to just take a moment to give some love to Susan. Let's give her some love. Susan is one of the most responsible, amazing people that I know, and she really steps up when you didn't even know you needed her to. And I'm so grateful for you. So thank you, Susan. Yeah. Right? Wow. Yes. Awesome. So, wow, it's so great to be back. You guys had Reverend Wayne, speak last Sunday, and our musicians were, of course, Jimmy and the What Else Is Possible band of choir, angels and musicians. And how was that? Was awesome? Yeah? All right. Cool. Good. Well, sorry that I wasn't here to kick off this wonderful month. November is always a favorite month of mine, and because it is the month where we get to eat a lot. It kicks off the holiday season. I've always loved Thanksgiving. And, you know, growing up, we always had something different. My family had a lot of different meals. You know, we had our journey of turkey, and then we had filet mignon and lobster, and we were all about eating. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So I just guess I'm hungry. It's a beautiful time of year, and so... But really what I love, aside from the food, about this time of year is gratitude, right? We get to stop and remember to be grateful. We get to stop and practice thanksgiving. And now in our teaching, we have a scientific form of prayer called spiritual mind treatment, which is really affirmative prayer. And in that, there are 5 steps, and the 4th step is thanksgiving. And it is about giving gratitude, speaking our word of gratitude for all that we are already experiencing in our lives and all that we are expecting in our lives. And it's like giving thanks for the invisible blessings that are on their way that we didn't even know. You know, the ones that show up like a phone call, knock on the door. Hey, it's Publishers Clearinghouse. No, I'm just kidding. It's a friend or a phone call or an email or a piece of mail you receive, you know, those invisible blessings, right? The things you didn't know were coming, all of that. And so just feeling that sense of gratitude and appreciation. So that's what this month is all about. And the seed of awakening for the month is harvesting inner abundance. So that is just an expanded, a broader perspective on this idea of gratitude and giving thanks and experiencing the blessings in our lives. And the talk title for today is Sowing Seeds of Thankfulness, the Science of Mindfulness, a little play on words there. So harvesting abundance is a theme that encourages exploring and cultivating the richness within ourselves. We already have this richness within ourselves that is waiting for us to notice it, right? Waiting for us to awaken to it. And this seed of awakening emphasizes the concept of personal wealth beyond our material possessions. So we're focusing on gratitude and mindfulness to recognize that this abundance that is already present in our lives is right within us. We've just maybe been focusing on some other things. Because that happens, right, in this thing called life. Someone cuts you off and whatever, right? Somebody is in... not us, our friends or spouses, right? It's not us. It's people we know. Oh, she admitted it. Okay. Whoa. somebody gets into the 12 item or less line with a cart full of stuff, right? And you're like, I've got one thing. Nobody ever does that. Usually, in my experience, if I come up with one thing, people always let me go in front of them, whether it's the 12 item or less line or just the regular line. I think that's because it's about who we are being in the world, right? And we're granted the goodness of God and that graciousness just by nature of us being who we are, our true nature, because our true nature is gratitude. Our true nature is one of joy. Our true nature is of love and peace and harmony. Yes, are you with me? All right. And so the theme expands on gratitude while encompassing the idea of reaping the rewards of having a grateful mindset within this context of our Science and Mind teachings. So mindfulness is a psychological and contemplative practice rooted in ancient traditions. It involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment and fostering awareness of our thoughts and feelings. Now, scientifically, studies suggest that it can actually enhance well-being, reduce stress, and improve cognitive functions. Yes, please, sign me up, right? So I got to tell you, there's nothing like traveling to another country to bring you into the present moment. Now, Travis and I just returned from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and the trip was centered around the wedding celebration of two of our near and dear friends. My minister mentor, Dr. David Bruner, and his spouse, Mauricio Lopez, who are known collectively as Bruno Pez. And so, wow, it was like a blast from the past, I saw so many people that I had hung out with before, like 15 years ago. And I have to tell you, everyone looked amazing. Everyone appeared to not be aging at all. And some looked even better than when I last saw them 15 years ago. And so I was sharing this with my mentor, David Bruner, and he said, I think it's just that your eyesight is getting worse. I was like, fair point, fair point. It's been 2 years since I renewed this prescription, and things are getting a little fuzzy. But that never occurred to me. Everyone just looks so good. So, so we had to be mindful, right? There's nothing like traveling to another country where you need to be on alert. And especially people are speaking a different language. You need to be paying attention to what's going on. And if we weren't being mindful, well, I always have my husband around to help me, to remind me that I need to be mindful. Can anyone relate to that? Your spouse is like, hello. We had the helpful and friendly hotel staff who were also keeping their eye on things. Like even if we're standing in front of the hotel, they would come out and say, don't be on your phone out here. Someone's going to drive up and just take it. They'll like come up on a moped and grab it. And they may even have like an Uber Eats thing on that, and you'll think they're legit. And we thought, wow. But we had people around us helping us. Remember, we need to be mindful and keep our heads on a swivel. And so that was a beautiful experience, that love and kind of being looked out for, right? And so what a great reminder that in community together, we can look out for each other. And now here in this particular community, you don't have to worry about someone coming and grabbing your phone other than wanting to take a picture with you. But it's like, how can we help each other in this community? We can do so by reminding each other, if we get into one of our little, tissies or whatever, we get into a bleh, like we're in a moment, right? Having a moment, let's call it. We can help each other remember to stop and count our blessings. Stop. What are you grateful for? We help each other. We reach our arm out, reach our hand out, and pull each other out of the hole, right? And we don't jump in the hole with them. We pull them out, because sometimes that's easy to do too. I can totally get that. So Guadalajara was amazing. It was totally different. It was like being in a different country. Oh, wait, it was a different country. It was amazing. And to sum it up for you, I took some time. Tacos, Jamaica. Jamaica is tea, hibiscus tea, right? They make an amazing Jamaica. And then we got sucked into this thing called strawberry horchata, which is the strawberry version of their rice milk, right? And then we had some more tacos. And then there were marigolds everywhere. And we had some pan de muerto, which is Day of the Dead bread. And then we had some more tacos. And then we experienced the Day of the Dead. And I'll talk a little bit more on that later. We took Ubers everywhere. And then we had some more tacos. We had some green juice, Jugo Verde. That's a big thing over there. Do you know about Jugo Verde? Yeah. And then we had chilaquiles. Let's not forget the chilaquiles, which I thought I needed to order a full chilaquiles breakfast, but it turns out, hey, you get chilaquiles with everything you order for breakfast. Okay, double chilaquiles. And then how about some more tacos? Yeah? Let's have some more tacos. Did anybody bring tacos today, by the way? Because we are not eating those. But then there were ofrendas everywhere, right? So we were there for Dia de los Muertos, and there were ofrendas everywhere, which are altars, and I'm going to talk more about that later. But we had a great time, and we had a lot of tacos, and we're going to not be eating tacos for a while, maybe a month or so. We've really been into sandwiches. They have bread with salsa over there? Like we do bread and butter, they actually do bread with salsa. Isn't that a trip? Okay. All right. So, number one, I'm going to talk about cultivating gratitude through mindfulness, right? So you've got to be mindful in order to choose gratitude. So gratitude is a choice and a mindset, and we definitely need to make that choice. So what does gratitude do for us on a scientific level? Well, it shields us from negativity. It makes us at least 25% happier. It rewires our brain. Gratitude actually rewires our brain, right? It helps us build those new neural pathways that connect the neurotransmitters, right? So we can actually start to be happier. It eliminates stress. Gratitude heals our bodies. Gratitude actually improves our sleep. How many could use some help with their sleep at night? Okay? It boosts our self-esteem and performance. It enhances the law of attraction. What you think about, you bring about. What you're giving thanks for, you are creating an opportunity for more of. It improves our relationships. Wow. Why would we not do that? Well, we have to simply make the choice to do it. So gratitude is a positive emotion that involves being thankful and appreciative and is associated, again, with several mental and health benefits. When you experience gratitude, you feel grateful for something or someone in your life, and you respond with feelings of kindness, warmth, and other forms of generosity. Isn't that beautiful? So there is definitely this connection between being mindful and being grateful. The mindful piece of it is we make the choice to be grateful. And when we get to make that choice, we are in a state of openness. And it's also empowering, you guys, because whenever we choose one thing over another, whenever we choose a way in our lives that is going to empower us and bless us and show us the kingdom of heaven that's within us, whenever we choose that over something else, We are empowering ourselves, and we are building our faith and flexing that faith muscle, right? And so just making the choice for gratitude, it does something within us. It does something for our consciousness. So why wouldn't we do that? Maybe we just forget sometimes, but this month we're focused on gratitude. Are you with me? Yeah. All right, so in addition to the scientific findings on mindfulness and gratitude, there's also some science around the power of positive thinking, okay? Now, people who are positive thinkers have lower rates of depression, lower levels of distress and pain, greater resistance to illnesses, and better overall psychological and physical well-being. That's from positive thinking. People who are more positive may also be better protected against the inflammatory damage of stress. Stress actually causes us inflammatory damage, right? Now, another possibility that is being talked about is that hope and positivity help people make better health and life decisions and focus more on long-term goals. So these studies also find that negative emotions can weaken our immune response. And so anytime we have a negative reaction or that knee-jerk reaction that spins us into the negativity, I think it works both ways, right? I think that when we're under stress or duress, we might make a decision to react in a way that we know is not our highest and best good. I've done it myself, right? And so it's about being mindful and bringing our focus back to the moment and being present and available to all the good that is here right now, which is infinite, right? If we can be in this moment now, we will see and feel and experience the infinite blessings that are right here. Like Spirit is all around us and within us, and it's bubbling up, and it wants to experience a life of joy, a life of love, a life of harmony, connection, and peace. And yes, right? I accept it now into my life. Woo! Okay. Thank you for that. So what is clear, though, as far as this transformative power of positive thinking, is that there is definitely a strong link between positivity and health. Additional studies have found that a positive attitude improves outcomes and life satisfaction across a spectrum of conditions, including traumatic brain injury, stroke, and brain tumors, all right? And so, things happen in this life, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. There are human things that happen in this life. And the question becomes for us, are we going to allow the things that are happening that we don't want to happen, that we don't want to experience, are we going to allow those to take us out, or are we going to choose the other path where we get to experience positivity and gratitude and blessings and mindfulness even in the midst of that? Yes, that. Right? Yeah. Yeah, amen. We're going to be the second. Yes? Yep. And that really is a beautiful thing. And so as we practice this in this moment now, throughout this month of November, this is practice, right? We're practicing, we're building our muscles so that if and when something comes along in our lives, again, spiritual beings having a human experience, we're bound to experience loss of a loved one at some point, right? We're going to have these tools in our lives that are going to help us be resilient and strong in the face of it all. So for this month, we are absolutely called to foster a culture of gratitude individually and collectively as a community. Now, it was Meister Eckhart who observed, if the only prayer you ever said in your entire life was thank you, that would be enough. So consider that a prayer. Thank you. Oprah Winfrey reminds us that focusing on one thing that you are grateful for increases the energy of gratitude and raises the joy inside yourself. So let's say that out loud. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now turn to the person next to you and say thank you. Now turn to another person and say thank you. Thank you, Zoomers. Now go around to as many people as you can and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Zoomers. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. 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 Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's be seated. We could do this all day, yes? We're going to take that beautiful joy of thank you out into the world this week. Do you feel the energetic shift in this room just from that gratitude? Wow. That's what's happening within us, right? And so we had an experience in this community, and we can have that experience at home and while we're driving and everywhere we find ourselves, while we're shopping, while we're cooking, while we're doing laundry, and all the good. So I want to talk about 5 ways to sow seeds of thankfulness this week and this month, So number 1 is to express gratitude. So that means to regularly verbalize appreciation for the people and experiences in your life. Express gratitude. Number 2 is keep a gratitude journal. Record things that you're thankful for daily to foster a habit of recognizing positive aspects. And we have this wonderful book of the month this month called The Gift of Gratitude, which is actually a guided journal for counting your blessings. And this is just such a great book for us all to pick up. And we've got, I think, 20 of them for sale here. And so you can grab one of these and pick one up for a friend, whoever you think needs to experience more gratitude. Great stocking stuffer, right? Oh, it's just such a beautiful book. I'm so excited we got these. And so you can record your gratitude in there, or you can have a little journal at your side, at your bedside. The third is acts of kindness. Spread thankfulness by performing small acts of kindness, which creates a positive ripple effect. What kind of acts of kindness could that be? Well, maybe you open the door for someone. It's that simple, right? Let someone into your lane, and driving. I love a story that Travis shared with me. I think it may have been last year, but he was in line at California Fresh, and he picked up some meat, and he asked for all the cooked bacon that they had. And this woman, and this woman came up, and she wanted to get some bacon, and he overheard, and the guy said, "We sold out of bacon." And the woman was like, sad. She started crying. And she had just had a really bad day, right? And Travis was watching this whole thing and feeling in his heart like, I got to share my bacon. It's like a dilemma, Am I going to do it? Anyway, he told the guy, the man came back, and here's your bacon. And he said, can you open up that bacon and give half to her, please? And he did. And the woman said, who are you? Right? Like, are you Jesus or something? She was like, who are you? Really? Nobody does that, right? Everyone is just out for themselves. This is her experience, okay? And she thanked him and was so grateful. And he felt so loving and so good, right? In your heart Didn't that feel great? Yeah. That was an act of kindness. There's so many opportunities for these acts of kindness in our lives. So spread thankfulness by performing these small acts of kindness. Number 4, reflect on challenges. Reflect on challenges. So find lessons in difficult situations so that you can turn adversity into an opportunity for personal growth. This is not easy. This is not easy to do, and I want to share a story with you. There's a man, a regular man, who was married with 2 children. He had 1 son and 1 daughter, and he was working as an engineer for a software company. Now, in 1995, his 20-year-old son named Tariq was in college in San Diego. Now, Tariq had a part-time job at a pizza place, and he was out one night delivering pizzas. And now there's also a young 14-year-old named Tony Hicks, who also lived in San Diego. Now, Tony got involved with a gang in Southern California, and one night he and some other members of his gang decided that they were going to rob a pizza delivery driver. Well, this man's son, the man's name is Azim, his son Tariq wasn't supposed to be working that night. But someone called in sick, and Tariq needed the extra cash to help him get home for the holidays. Now, the route where Tony Hicks and his gang members were scoping out just happened to be Tariq's route. And so Tony and his gang attempted to rob Tariq, and he was shot and killed. I know. Tariq was Azim's only son. This was a senseless gang-related murder. Now, out of unspeakable grief and despair, Azim was inspired to transform his loss through the miraculous power of forgiveness. He believed that there were victims at both ends of the gun. So Azim forgave Tony, and he founded the Tariq Khamisa Foundation to help break the cycle of youth violence by saving lives, empowering positive choices, and teaching the principles of nonviolence and peacemaking. So soon after establishing the foundation, he invited Ples Felix. Now, Ples Felix is Tony's grandfather and his guardian. He invited his grandfather and guardian to join him in this foundational work. And so together, since 1995, the two have shared their story and message through TFK's Peacemaker Assemblies and other programs. The duo has reached over 1 million elementary and middle school children and several million via video programs, guiding the youth to choose a peacemaker's life of nonviolence and forgiveness. Tony Hicks, who's now 39, probably a little older, was released in April of 2020. And Azim, which is Tariq's father, was actually at Tony's parole hearing in November of 2018 with his daughter. And they both strongly advocated for his release. So Tony won his parole hearing and was released in October of 2019, and now volunteers for the TKF as a strong advocate for youth to not follow in his former footsteps. Wow, right? So he uses his personal story of transformation after receiving Azim's forgiveness and learning to forgive himself in order to inspire youth to choose a life of nonviolence and peace building. So Azim is now an author, a thought leader, and a peace activist. He's an international inspirational speaker who was born in Kenya, Africa, of Eastern roots. Wow. Wow. So find lessons in difficult situations and turn adversity into opportunities for personal growth. That's one huge example, right? Another beautiful example of this for me is the Day of the Dead. So now we're circling back to this thing called Dia de los Muertos, which we got to experience so beautifully, so magnificently in Guadalajara. And so this is a day which is a Mexican holiday where families welcome back the souls of their deceased relatives for a brief reunion that includes food and drink and celebration. Now, this is a blend of Mesoamerican ritual, European religion, and Spanish culture. So the holiday is actually celebrated every year from October 31st to November 2nd. Now, October 31st is actually Halloween. November 1st through the 2nd is All Souls Day, or the Day of the Dead. So according to tradition, the gates of heaven are opened up at midnight on October 31st so that the spirits of children can rejoin their families for 24 hours. I know. And the spirits of adults can do the same on November 2nd. So first the children and then the adults. Now the ofrenda is the offering that's placed in the home, and it's an altar during this annual and traditional Dia de los Muertos. The ofrenda could be large and elaborate and is usually created with the or by the family members of a person who has passed on and is intended to welcome the deceased to the altar setting. Now they put all of this amazing symbolic thing, all of these amazing symbols on the altar. So the marigolds, welcome them in, and then there's like a bar of soap and a towel that's placed on the altar so that the soul, after traveling that long journey, can give themselves a wash. And then there are different, treats, candies, and water to drink. And sometimes there's tequila, and there's pictures of the beloved ones. And you guys, I fell in love with this. There were ofrendas everywhere. We were in a shop, and we were shopping around, there were like 6 or 7 of us in this one shop, and admiring all the goods and just the amazing, intricate artwork that was done there. And the owner of the shop said, "We have an ofrenda in the back. Would you like to see it?" And of course, and so we all went out there, and there were chairs lined up, and it was huge. And there was one woman, a young woman, the central focus of it. And it occurred to us that, this could be like their daughter who's no longer here. And how beautiful this is, right? So I'm sharing this with you for a couple of reasons. One, I think this is a beautiful way, because when we lose our loved ones, it is so tragic and it hurts, right? And that is a difficult thing, but we know that they're always with us. And what a beautiful gift it is to have this kind of a holiday. So next year, we're going to be doing something powerful in this community for Dia de los Muertos. And we're going to have an opportunity to honor all of our loved ones who have gone before with probably a community, a collective ofrenda, and how beautiful that's going to be. And so they even create little pathways with the marigold petals to guide the soul in and allow them to be present. Wow, so beautiful. So the ofrenda is a remembrance of the departed, a reminder that life is eternal, and that presence of the deceased loved one is everlasting. Everlasting. So these ofrendas speak of the affection that we have, right? Get present with that, right? That affection that we have toward the deceased, right? We still have that love and affection as if they never left. When I think about my dad, I think about him with such love. And it's that same level of love as if he just called me this morning and invited me over for something, Like I feel that. And that never goes away. So that's another way that we can turn our adversity into opportunities for personal growth. That's for personal healing, We can invite the souls of our loved ones who are no longer here to be present and make them present in our thoughts and in our consciousness. Yes? Are you guys with me? So beautiful. And then the last item, number 5, is to share positivity. So we want to encourage a thankful atmosphere by sharing uplifting stories and acknowledging others' achievements. Like Susan and all the work she did here for us while I was gone. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Gratitude, like faith, is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows, and the more power you have to use it on your behalf. If you don't practice gratefulness, its benefaction goes unnoticed, and your capacity to draw on its gifts will be diminished. So to be grateful is to find blessings in everything. Find the blessings, you guys. This is the most powerful attitude to adopt, for there are actually blessings in everything, and they will open up to you as you choose to see them. Now, for those of you with spouses, I think you would agree with me that it's easy to get irritated and annoyed by small things. Yeah. He's sitting right there, Linda. Her husband is. I mean, I am not annoying at all. He laughs. Small things, right? That's just like you're around them all the time, and there's a small thing that you just can't stand. And you can get so focused on that and upset and angry about it. But what if we were to turn that around, right? The way to turn that around is to look for something you're grateful for about the person. Because otherwise, those little things will continue to pop up, right? But if instead, I discovered this last year, there was a little book of gratitude, and it was about finding things to be grateful for in your spouse. And I would look for things, and sometimes it was hard. But that's about me, right? That wasn't about him. But I tell you, being able to take a step back and get mindful and choose to find something other than that annoying, irritating thing was so beautiful. And it occurred to me that this was about me, right? It always comes back to that. We think we're doing things for other people or being kind for other people or practicing this or that for the other or forgive. We even think we're forgiving for the other person. That's not it. It's happening within us. Everything that we're up to, everything that we're doing and being, every way of being in the world that we have, others benefit from it, but we benefit the most. Because as we get into gratitude, as we look for the gratitude that we have for our spouses, we let go of the irritation. Now, irritation is something else that causes inflammation. All the ions, right? It causes that inflammation and it creates stress, and then you're irritable, and next thing you know, you're tripping over things and you're sick, and I've got this throbbing headache or whatever it is, right? But if you can just look for the gratitude, you begin to look for new things, and you find new things to love, to admire, and adore about each other, and it's fun. And then those things that were annoying cease to exist when your eye is on the divine. Keep your eye on the sparrow, in other words. That means be focused on your objective. Friends, this week your objective is gratitude. Be grateful for everything. You'll find that it's actually kind of fun. Be grateful for all that you have in your life right now and those invisible blessings that are on their way to you, the expected and the unexpected. Now, the final story that I have to share before wrapping it up today is a story that I always love to share, and this is about Emma Curtis Hopkins. So, Emma Curtis Hopkins was an American spiritual author and leader, and she was one of Ernest Holmes' teachers. And she wrote, "If I were to be asked directly as to the quickest way for a scientist to get their healing power going, I would probably say praise everything and everyone in your mind, and as far as your mental convictions will demonstrate promptly, speak those praises aloud." So friends, raise and praise everyone and everything. When we experience negative feelings, they are in us. They affect us. They don't affect the other world, the people around us. They affect us. They don't affect the other people. They block our progress, not others. If we can raise and praise in our minds, we will demonstrate what our deepest desires are much quicker. We elevate our consciousness. We are tapped into a higher frequency when we raise and praise everything and everyone. So I use this personally because, I'm all about all these different tools. It's like, okay, I'm going to try it in my own life. And if it works, I'm going to keep it. And if it doesn't work, then I'll let it go. Take what works for you and leave the rest. So I had an experience of betrayal at some point, and I was angry. And I was saying, I'm replacing the name with a fake name. I raise you, Bob Smith, and I praise you, Bob Smith, in the name of love. Are there any Bob Smiths in here? Well, I raise you and praise you. I raise you, Bob Smith, and I praise you, Bob Smith, in the name of love. And as I was saying it, I could feel something happening within me. And then I practiced this 108 times on my mala beads, right, in the morning and at night. And then I ran into the person that I was betrayed by, and I was able to meet that person from a place of love. I didn't have any irritation. I didn't have any anger or anything within me. I met this person from a place of love, and in the field outside of wrong and right that Rumi wrote about, right? It was divine. It felt so good to not have those walls. And then it was like, if that has so much power in the life of another person, what about me? I raise my life. I praise my life in the name of love. What about that self-care? I raise you, Elizabeth Rowley. I praise you, Elizabeth Rowley, in the name of love. You got to try this at home. Even just saying it here does something, It's like, just relax. You are loved and adored. I raise my life. I praise my life in the name of love. Now, my friends, you can do this for anyone that gets your goat and free yourself from the bondage of that negativity so that you may begin to demonstrate what you truly and deeply want for yourself and your life. The calling of your soul, the nudging from the inside. This is so awesome. You have to try this at home. Someone cuts you off on the freeway. I raise you and I praise you in the name of love. Someone gets in the express line with more items than they're supposed to have. I raise you and I praise you in the name of love. Stuck behind a slow driver. I raise you and I praise you in the name of love. For that person, I raise you and I praise you in the name of love. Yes, even that person. Reclaim your personal power, my loves, by raising and praising everything and everyone in the name of love. So wrapping it up, sowing seeds of thankfulness The science of mindfulness has been the topic for today. No matter how much we have, we can always find a reason to be dissatisfied, can't we? In this month of November, we're consciously choosing to shift our perception from what we do not have to the abundance we already possess by counting our blessings and actively participating in giving thanks. Let me hear it again. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, we're practicing mindfulness by choosing gratitude, seeing clearly without attachment and non-judgment, to simply choose to say thank you for what is. Now, the call to action for you, you're going to need to write these down, or Susan will send them out in e-news. Your call to action, number 1, you have several calls this week. Write and deliver at least 5 thank you cards this week. You can pick up thank you cards over here. You can pick up thank you cards at the dollar store, wherever. You can pick up thank you cards everywhere. 5 cards this week. And you can have a thank you card for anyone here or wherever. Is that God? She laughed. Hi, God. Number 2, gratitude list. Keep a notepad on your nightstand by the gratitude journal. Yes, every morning before you get up, 5 things for which you are grateful. And every night before you go to sleep, 5 things for which you are grateful. Number 3, consider and write down opportunities where you can practice being kind to others. I want to hear your examples, I've got holding the door open for someone, giving compliments. Wow, what a great shirt, Delon. And, that was sincere. I love that shirt. That's a great color, And letting someone in front of you at the grocery store, letting someone in front of you while driving, be a helper, carry a bag, offer support, words of kindness, whatever it is, have fun, you guys, and perform at least one of these acts of kindness daily. And lastly, watch the film Coco. Yes, watch the film Coco for it's the Disney animated film, a beautiful celebration of Dia de los Muertos. It explains it in such a loving way. And now I invite you to join me as we prepare for our closing prayer. And Travis is not playing today. He's all right, but he just has the day off. He's got a wrist. He's been working out, so, he had a little gym injury. So, let's give Travis some love and healing vibes. Woo! Yes. And just do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. Stretch out your legs, scratch your nose, stretch your arms out, sit up in your chair, and then join me in closing your eyes, or you could keep your eyes open and rest your gaze gently in front of you, a couple of feet in front of you. And take a deep breath with me. And join me in returning to that beautiful, expansive space within. This is the space where I know and remember with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. It is all that there ever was, and it is all that there ever will be. And it is here right now expressing itself in me, as me, and through me, just as it is expressing itself in, through, and as each individual here. It's not expressing itself. It's not in us like jelly is in a donut or gas is in a car. It's the stuff that we're made of. It's like when we look at ourselves or look at our hands and we see our mother or father's hands, or we look in the mirror and we see qualities of our ancestors, our mothers and fathers, we also see that we are beloved children of the divine. We are made in its image and likeness. Therefore, we can never be separate from it, only in our thinking minds. And so, from this moment forward, we, each one of us, make a conscious choice to be tuned into it. We are collectively aligned with the divine mind here and now and going forward. We couldn't be separate if we tried. And so our minds are focused. We have a laser focus. We keep our eye on the sparrow, meaning our focus is on the divine. We are single-minded in all of our ways, and we have gratitude as our mindset. And so I know and claim for each of us that as we go forward from here to the rest of our day, we find so much to be grateful for. And we're going to share some of that gratitude as we move into Love's Table this afternoon for a wonderful celebration of Thanksgiving and food and community. We are going to share gratitude, and I know that this gratitude that we share and this gratitude that we've been present to today is a catalyst for something in our lives, a catalyst for a major shift, a major transformation that has been waiting to occur. And I know that it is also something that initiates the law of attraction, and we continue to find more to be grateful for. I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for these clothes and my shoes and my hair. Wow. Imagine if you didn't have hair. I mean, wow. I'm grateful for my hands and my glasses and this microphone and socks. I'm grateful for this community and these chairs. Wouldn't it be different if there weren't chairs to sit on? I'm so grateful for this pavilion on the lake in Atascadero. I'm so grateful for our band of musicians and choir angels and Jimmy. And I'm so grateful for everyone in this community who has had a part in making this service what it is. I'm grateful to have a close relationship with the God of my understanding. And I'm grateful to remember in every moment that this presence is within me, before me, behind me, beside me, above me, below me, and all around me. I'm so blessed. We are so blessed. And we continue to experience the blessings as we go forward from here. We take to heart the calls to action and know that we are activating good in our lives. Something wonderful has happened here today, and I am grateful. I'm so grateful and thankful to be here. Oh, so with great gratitude and love and joy for simply being alive, I give thanks and know that this day is blessed, that I am blessed, that we are blessed, and more good is coming into our lives starting now. I release this prayer now into that loving and creative action of the law where I know it is so, and I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is. Yes. Woo! Woo! Raise and praise in the name of love.